let's sort of briefly go down the WBC convention and sort of what it did in terms of like its rules and mandates. But before
Can we
we
not?
do,
You're going to bring up last year's?
of course I am.
Good man. I like your style.
Of course. And before I bring up all the mandated fights from the WBC convention that have come out, that's all the headlines right now, right? Let's bring up the ones that were mandated last year in was it Honolulu? I think it was in Hawaii. What a great places to go travel, right? This was in October 3rd, 2018. Major fights the WBC order today. This is via Michael Benson. Gennady Golovkin versus Jamal Charlo. Rob, did that happen?
I think, was it a split decision or you?
No, it didn't happen. No.
No, there was no.
No, that didn't happen. Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter too. Did that happen?
The first one did.
The first one definitely did because there's a second one. Or is there a second one?
I missed that one. I don't think ITV showed it.
Good ITV joke right there. Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz.
What a fight that would have been.
Jorge Linares versus Adrian Broner. A fight that I actually still would like to see, to be honest.
You sick pervert.
Sorry. Mikey Garcia versus Luke Campbell.
Nope.
It's bullshit.
Anthony Guerrero versus Avani Yildirim. Hey, that one happened.
Yeah.
That one happened. Hey, there we go. We got one. We got one, guys. Which we gotta say is the worst one of the bunch.
That holiday in the sun was worth it.
And then we have J-Rock versus Eslon Elora, which didn't happen, obviously. But it now could happen because it's the whole Jared Hurd situation. But digressing, guys. Let's get to
bring up the list of the new ones that won't happen.
The new ones, guys. This is good. Okay.
That won't happen.
Let me go by division here, okay? So
start at the top.
Of course, at heavyweight.
Strawweight.
That's the bottom. I like how you frame that, though.
To know
as a little man myself, thank you. For
I need to know who Wen Yang will be fighting next. Minimum weight. What's he doing?
He's fighting tonight or tomorrow, isn't he?
Yeah, and then who's his Mando?
No, his Mando's tomorrow. But digressing, Rob, stop with the jokes. Let me get to it. Via Dan Rayfield, obviously via ESPN. Heavyweight Deontay Wilder will defend his title in an optional defense in a rematch with Luis King Kong Ortiz. Then he has the Tyson Fury fights. And the number one contender, Dylan Whyte, situation is in limbo as he goes through the investigation process following a positive recent drug test. If the situation resolved itself without suspension, Whyte will be the mandatory challenger for February 2021 because obviously they're allowing the Tyson Fury trilogy fights to go through. Cruiserweight.
Wait. Just to bring up on that.
Yes.
Eddie's got his lawyers looking into that because they did have the original resolution and kind of order when Dillian Whyte reverse happened that they had a timeline and everything for the mandatory.
Yeah, but then the guy popped for, PEDs.
So I'm just saying. So they're looking
shit kind of changes when you get popped for PEDs. Moving on, and then you don't notify the WBC. That's even, sorry. Cruiserweight champion.
It's clear to fight.
Alunga Makabu and former world titleist Krzysztof Glowacki have been ordered to fight for the vacant belt, obviously since Usyk has moved up. Light heavyweight, Beterbiev just knocked out Vazdik. Beterbiev will make his next IBF mandatory defense against Mang Fanlong, early 2020, and he doesn't have to fight the winner of John Pascal Badou Jack till later in the year, most likely. What else? David Benavidez, Avani Yildirim, that's happening. Jamal Charlo, Dennis Hogan is a optional defense, no mandatory yet. Tony Harrison obviously is fighting Jamal Charlo, or that's supposed to be happening. And then next up would be Lubin, the Gallimore winner, and then Sergio Garcia.
Well, did we do middleweight?
Yeah, Charlo.
Yeah,
there's no mandatory.
The bit that says about, and then they'll be discussing with Matchroom regarding his. That was actually from the WBC website that I saw that piece.
Okay, digression.
That Daniel Jacobs would be the Matchroom fighter that is currently in the rankings behind Jamal Charlo, but
He's moved up, so I doubt that. I doubt he moves back down, to be honest. I think he tries to go after like a Billy Joe Saunders or someone. If I'm Daniel Jacobs, that's what I would do, to be honest. Or Cal Smith, someone of that nature that's at 168. Yeah. But digressing, because again, that's not mandatory yet, so it's not even been ordered. It's just what they're thinking. Mm-hmm. That's even worse. Earl Spence is supposed to fight Danny Garcia, who's his mandatory whenever that fight is supposed to happen. Ramirez is supposed to fight Victor Postal. And there was supposed to be a purse bid Wednesday, but that got pushed back because they're close to a deal. Ramirez is entitled to 70% of the winning bid, Postal 30%. Obviously, we have the whole franchise and Devin Haney bullshit, but it looks like where was it? Javier Fortuna and Jesus Cuellar are fighting, and they're going to be the final eliminator for Haney's mandatory challenger. Which, I mean, Fortuna, like, that's a decent fight, right? I mean, Cuellar is like, God, you're at 135 now. What the hell? You were at 126 last time I checked. Then you fought Gervonta Davis at 130, now 135. Oof. But Fortuna, he's been a guy that's been around forever. I'm okay with that matchup, to be honest. Even though it's not Loma-Haney, which should be the fight after Haney beats the winner of Comey, Teofimo Lopez. Miguel Berchelt will be fighting the winner of Valdez Gutierrez. Yay, after his optional defense against Jason Sosa. Gary Russell Jr. has been ordered to fight King Tug. While I do love this matchup, it's not happening, right? Right?
Not this year. He's already fought.
Definitely not. Ray Vargas defeated Tomiki Kameda, and he can take voluntary defense. Nordino Bali just fought a voluntary defense, and now he'll be fighting the winner of Emmanuel Rodriguez and Luis Neri. Actually, he's scheduled to face Takuma Inoue in a optional defense first. Estrada was due to fight Yafei, and he has no mandatory fight at this point in time. It looks like maybe Rungsvi could also slip in there as mandatory, but who knows? Charlie Edwards moved up from flyweight, so he's no longer the champion. Rosales Martinez are fighting for the vacant belt. A final eliminator has been ordered between Junto Nakatini versus McWilliams Arroyo. Ken Shiro is scheduled to face IBF counterpart Felix Alvarado, unification. And then last but not least, Wen Hang Menothin is scheduled to face his mandatory defense tomorrow, right? I think that's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Simpaway Konko.
Tough fight.
Not bad fight, but digressing.
I have no idea.
I think maybe one or two of these things happen. And the divisions that no one cares, like cruiserweight, I think Lucky Makabu is probably going to happen.
Yeah. So
that's
that's for the vacant
belt? Yes.
So their WBC are not putting it in the final.
No.
With Dorticos and
nope.
Bredis.
After the whole dick measuring contest between them and was the WBA or WBO?
WBO, I think.
Whichever one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all the mandates from the WBC convention. Here are my thoughts on it all. Yes. And actually, hold on. Usyk, what was that?
It's bullshit.
Thank you, Usyk. That's probably the best way to phrase it. Rob, any thoughts on any of the mandates from the WBC convention?
Yeah. I know also Benavidez is getting the Yildirim, and then he's allowed a voluntary.
Yes, because Yildirim is a mandatory.
And then Callum Smith will be the mandatory to if Benavidez is still there, Callum Smith will be. So what's that next year? Well, year after, 21.
Maybe late next year or early 2021, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Will Callum Smith even be at super middleweight by then? I don't know. Possibly moved up, but...
or same with David Benavidez. I can see a bunch of those guys.
Well, true, yeah, but maybe a bit younger. I don't know. It's... Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's WBC, man. It's...
But... Let's fingers crossed we get the same strike rate as we did last year. But yeah, just interestingly on the middleweight one, it seemed weird that Charlo's fighting Hogan, and then they're going to have a couple of weeks, and then they're going to make a decision after consulting with Matchroom. So whether that's just is Jacobs sticking around, is he going to go back down, or does he want to be the mandatory to Charlo, or is he staying at the division above? So yeah,